The theater scene, up close, in depth. This is On Stage.
I'm sixth generation. That makes me a DNA Mormon.
From a sixth-generation Mormon, married father of two, to an excommunicated, out-of-the-closet male prostitute, Stephen Fales is bringing his dramatic journey to the stage in Confessions of a Mormon Boy. We'll speak with this writer-performer about his very personal solo show. It is time for a short break right now. Coming up next...
We're going to have to work on your SSA. My what? Same-sex attraction.
We'll speak with Stephen Fales about his autobiographical solo show, Confessions of a Mormon Boy. Confessions of a Mormon Boy was a big hit during the 2004 New York International Fringe Festival, and earlier this year it opened for an off-Broadway run. This very personal solo show is written and performed by Stephen Fales and directed by Tony-winning director Jack Hofsis. It chronicles the journey Fales, a young gay Mormon man, took through excommunication from the Mormon Church to experiences with prostitution and drug abuse and his eventual efforts to reclaim himself. Contributing correspondent Patrick Pacheco of Show People magazine recently spoke with Fales about his journey. But before we see that interview, let's take a look at some moments from Confessions of a Mormon Boy.
It's been doctrine this and dogma that my whole life. Work out your salvation, never being worthy enough of God's love. Where's the love? He told me they needed to keep the church pure. I told him the church was a socio-economic, political, tax-exempt, multinational corporation posing as the kingdom of God on earth. It just came out.
I am delighted to welcome to On Stage Stephen Fales, who is appearing in his solo show, Confessions of a Mormon Boy at the Soho Playhouse. Welcome.
Thank you, Patrick.
People might think, oh no, not another confessionals solo play, but I was so captivated by your show because of the context of this intriguing, powerful indigenous religion, Mormonism, and your path from married middle-class respectability to show business and maybe not so coincidentally hustling, drugs, and gay promiscuity. What led you to tell this story?
Well, when I was excommunicated, and as a gay Mormon father, my excommunication, I have these two beautiful children. I was afraid that if I were to die, there wouldn't be anyone I could fully trust to tell my story to my kids. So this began as a Valentine to my children, that's what compelled me to start.
What I found so amazing, too, is that there's a lot of respect and affection for the Mormon Church. This isn't Mormon bashing on your part, even though they kicked you out.
Well, I'm sixth generation Mormon. My people settled Utah. There are lots of great things I learned from growing up Mormon. There's some institutionalized bigotry that I can hardly stomach, but I think it's important to be fair and honest. And to be fair is that there's good things in the Mormon Church, and then we'll also expose the others. So,
what are some of the good things? What did you
well, there's
love
a work ethic, there's an optimism,
that Donny Osmond smile that you're showing right now?
There's service is something that the Mormons try to do, but you don't want to be on their bad side politically. If you're gay, be careful. They'll be out to exterminate you politically with a smile.
It's powerful, and there's a great economic power as well as political power.
Yeah.
You married a Mormon, obviously, a Mormon, the daughter of a famous Mormon poet. The woman that you married is Emily Pearson. You have two children with her. How is your relationship with your wife, your ex-wife, and your children
I think it's extraordinary. Emily's father died of AIDS and was gay, and her mother wrote this national bestseller. Well, Emily and I thought we could, with this new reparative therapy that would make me straight, we could write a different story from her parents. So we co-parent with our kids. My kids live in Salt Lake, and I split my time between New York and Salt Lake, and things are going very well.
And they're actually okay with this show?
My kids know that I do a show about being they know I do a show about how much I love them. And that I sing my You in Utah song. And that it's about me being excommunicated for being gay, and they think that that is just stupid, that I was excommunicated. So in an age-appropriate way, they know what I'm doing.
And your wife, you said, I think, signed the permission for you.
She and her mother, Carolyn Pearson, signed depiction releases.
Have you gotten any negative responses from Mormon family or Mormons that you know about the show?
I have family members that won't have anything to do with me But then I have family members that came to opening night here in New York, including my father. And you don't get more Orthodox Mormon than my dad. And for him to be there and show his love for me was a triumph. Better than any review I could ever receive.
It's an extraordinary path that you go through, because not only do you come to New York and you're in show business, but you start hustling. You get into a heavy drug scene, and you do a lot of really stupid things.
I self-destruct. My pain and anger brought me back to New York. You know, I have a master's degree in acting, so I wanted to be I wanted to be in the chorus of Les Mis, you know. But what happened is I show the link between spiritual abuse, excommunication, and addiction. And, you know, I took my spiritual gifts to the streets. But then I had this aha that woke me up, started writing, and getting my life back.
If somebody is struggling with many of the same things that you struggled with, what would you advise them? What do you most want them to focus on in terms of getting through what you had to get through, perhaps less self-destructively?
Well, I want people to know that no matter what their past is, they are not their past. They can invent new possibilities for themselves. And if I can go from using crystal meth and prostitution and create a one-man show, and then, you know, take responsibility for my life and stop being a victim, there are so many choices for us when we stop being a victim of our circumstances. And we all have a story.
And that's part of what you're doing now. You're writing your memoir, Oxy-Mormon, right?
Yeah, I'm an Oxy-Mormon, so it's called Oxy-Mormon Memoirs.
And a new, also a new one-person show, right?
Yeah, more stand-up. It's called Mormon American Princess.
And what's it about?
Well, it's about narcissism and our society and fear, and it's more of a this Confessions of a Mormon Boy is more a one-man play. This other is more of a stand-up exploration and other songs I've written. So.
And you're also started an organization to help sex workers transition out of sex working as well, called Possibilities.
Yes,
along the
Possibilities helps sex workers transition out of sex working and move on to other dreams.
What I found amazing about your show is that William Blake quote, "The road of excess leads to the palace of wisdom." And all through your show, I recognize this yearning of God. Do you sort of find it resonant that somehow your path to God and spirituality took you through all these adventures?
This is part of the point of the show. I slammed the door on spirituality when I was excommunicated. And it's about how I've reclaimed a spirituality that works for me. And I had to go through some dark times to get to that point.
I think it's a good point to make. I think that there's a lot of people that are looking for that spiritual path. It's good that they've got this show to show them how one man did it. We have to wrap up. But I thank you very much for coming in. And I think that if people have other questions, obviously they can see the show. There are talks back on Monday, and you have a website.
Yeah, MormonBoy.com. And Patrick, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
And you can catch Confessions of a Mormon Boy downtown at the Soho Playhouse on Van Dam Street.